Good evening, everybody. I'm going to talk about my dissertation study, effectiveness of digital games in producing environmentally friendly attitudes and behaviors, a mixed method study. This was one of the three studies which comprised my dissertation. I defended my dissertation last month and I'm looking to graduate this December. So this study has been published in Computers in Education a few weeks back, and I provided the link below, which I'll share in the chat box. So if you're interested in reading this article, you can go and download it from that link. So the problem and purpose that guided my research are I am very passionate about environmental sustainability issues and I want the learners to also develop that passion. So I find that teaching them in the traditional methods of instruction is not enough. We have to concentrate on attitudinal instruction. That is, we should help our learners change their attitudes and not just learn knowledge about environmental sustainability. But in the real world, we see that many people do not perform pro-environmental behaviors because of several constraints and barriers. So, as instructors, we need to break those barriers so that students, after they leave the classroom, are ready to perform pro-environmental behaviors in the real world. So, this study explored whether a digital game was effective in producing environmental friendly attitudes and behaviors, and whether it was retained for a period of 5 weeks, and what were the game features that helped the attitudinal learning. I used a game called Inner Cities in the study, which was developed in European Union a few years back. In this game, players have to develop a virtual city with people and a lot of buildings. So these buildings are for residences, offices, and recreation. And as they build more and more buildings to increase their population and to get more scores, uh, the buildings will require more power or energy, and if they go and construct coal power plants to provide the energy, which is cheaper, but the pollution levels in the city will increase. So that will reduce the green cover and that will make people unhappy and the scores will drop. And in order to provide the power, they have to go for renewable sources of energy like wind power and solar power farms and hydroelectric power plants, but those are expensive, but they are clean and will keep the people happy. So every action that are performed by a player will produce several reactions within the game, and that is the actual learning process in the game. So the research questions that guided the study are one, are digital games effective in producing environmentally friendly attitudes and behaviors and behavioral intentions, and was the influence of the attitudinal learning gains retained over a period of 5 weeks, and how did the game produce these attitudinal changes. So this was a mixed method study where I used embedded mixed methods design. So in this, the quantitative phase was the major part of the study, and the qualitative phase was the embedded part of the study. Uh, I used participants at Purdue University who were undergraduate students, and there were two sections of them. One section served as the experimental group that played this Inner Cities game, and the other section played a control game, which was an equally challenging game, but was not concerned with environmental sustainability at all. In this course, that was attended by the participants was Foundations to Education Technology, and we were teaching them about digital game-based learning and how DGBL can be an instructional tool that they can use in their classes. So for the quantitative phase of the study, I used a survey called the Attitudinal Learning Survey. Um, and this was administered twice, once 1 week after the game was played and second time after 5 weeks. And for the qualitative part of the study, I interviewed students and also looked at the game scorecards that are generated at the end of the game to see how well they progress in the game. And the participants, and then this data was analyzed and interpreted in the results section, integrated in the discussion section. So the participants, there were 52 students in the experimental group and 42 students in the control group, and I interviewed 9 participants. For the data analysis of the quantitative data, I used partial least square structural equation modeling. And using the Smart PLS3 package, I designed this structural model or the measurement model. And PLS SCM was very useful in the study because the attitudinal learning instrument has several constructs. because I'm measuring cognitive learning, affective learning, behavioral, and social learning. And each of these constructs are measured using several survey items, three or more than three. And also, measurement was done at two time periods, 1 week after gameplay and 5 weeks after gameplay. And my PLS also helped me establish the construct validity, discriminant validity, reliability, and so on. And so I think this was very, very helpful in the study, and I was able to measure all the variables uh, at the same time. And the results with respect to the questions are with respect to RQ1, there were significant differences between the group that played the Energities game and the control group with respect to the influence of affective learning, behavioral learning, and social learning on the behavioral intentions after 1 week. For RQ2, I found that the influence of social learning on behavioral intentions after 5 weeks was significantly higher than the other three learnings, than the other control group. For the qualitative data analysis, I use thematic analysis with the deductive approach. So here, I looked at the codes because I knew this was a deductive because I knew what I was looking for. There is four types of learning, and when I looked at the interviews, I grouped them with respect to what was whether they were gaining new knowledge or emotionally involved or learning new behaviors or interacting with their peers. And so what were the game features that helped in that particular learning as well? So this is how I grouped them. So this is an example regarding cognitive learning. I did the similar kind of coding for the other types of learning as well. With respect to the interviews, here are some examples from participant codes. With respect to cognitive learning, I found that many students learn many new things, and those who are aware already uh, learned more, and they found that the learning was more relevant now. And with respect to affective learning, all the participants were emotionally involved with the game, and they wanted to keep the citizens in their virtual city happy. So, as shown by the indicator of a smiley face. And when it turned sad, they were emotionally affected, and the main thing is they were able to relate this to the real life, right? So they were thinking about real people living in the real world who are affected by environmental deterioration, which is already set in those parts of the world. So that was an impactful learning for them from this game. And behavioral learning, learners were performing certain actions in the game and they were seeing the reactions immediately, whether it was good or bad. And if it was bad, they were at the score, and as shown by the drop in the scores and certain visualizations in the game, they went back and changed their actions. So this helped them learn that in the real world, they will not get a second opportunity to go and change back their actions. So they were and also, there was one student who said that he was trying to be environmentally friendly, but there were so many things which were not under his control. So these two things are very impactful from the study. And social learning, this game was for individual players, but they after playing the game, they shared their game strategies, their scores, what they did in the game, and they shared what they learned with their friends and family. And although the participants did not say that they would voluntarily go and talk about environmental sustainability with others, they were more confident about talking about it if the issue arose in a social setting like a discussions and conversations. And the summary of findings from both the quantitative and quantitative showed that after 1 week, the learning was retained. Except for cognitive learning, there was no difference between the two groups because the prior knowledge of all the players were somewhat similar, especially in Purdue University, where when this data was collected in 2019 spring, there was a lot of events going on about environmental sustainability. So maybe the prior knowledge was same for both the groups. But after playing the game, the experimental group gained in affective learning, behavioral learning, and social learning. And with respect to after 5 weeks, only the social learning was significantly higher. This I believe could be because they were interacting with others about the game, they're talking about the game and playing it more number of times even after the study was over, and outside the class sharing the game with students who were not in this group. So I think that helped in retaining the social learning. And this learning was because they were immersed in a scenario that they thought they were responsible for, because they were able to see the consequences immediately, and they understood that even small actions can make a big difference. And they connected each and every event with the real world, and this resulted in translation of empathy for the human and the non-human world. and transfer of behaviors into the real world. So they understood that the ill effects of human-caused activities or anthropogenic activities, and they started showing it in their behaviors like recycling and saving energy and so on. So considering the game, this study found that it was effective in producing attitudinal learning, and also it was I can say that it is a great support tool to traditional methods of learning, and students were learning something new while at the same time having fun, engaged with it, and motivated to finish the game. So not only in environmental sustainability, I think DGPL can be very effective in teaching other social scientific topics as well. So the implications are for educators when they go to implement a game. They have to use games that are focused on the learning goals, that has several prompts throughout the game at points of action that helps in cognition, and then it helps them think about the interrelationship between the events. And the game mechanics have to focus on empathy building because attitudinal learning is the main target here, and they should be able to examine the consequences in real time, and it'll be nice if there is an interesting narrative or a story behind the game. So UNESCO advises that for teaching sustainability, it should be interactive and learner-centered. And I find that the digital games are satisfy this condition. So when instructors go to implement games, they should be aware of the games that are available online, whether they're downloadable, whether they can be played offline as well, and they need to play the game once or twice before implementing in the game. And they should select games that align with the curriculum and the learning objectives. And they should make considerations for the technical issues. And for example, in my case, this game was only Windows friendly, but not Mac friendly. But it was available online as well as could be played offline. For game designers for attitudinal learning games, it'll be nice if there are multiple lessons incorporated into the game storyline, and there should be several prompts that provide extra cognitive knowledge throughout the game, and the game should allow the repetition of actions, and should have several monitors which will show the resources and progress in the game. There should not be any seductive features, and it should be realistic. It should help the players connect the game to the real life. And also, the rewards will motivate the gameplay. And the game mechanics should allow discovery learning so that students take ownership for their learning. So based on the interviews, I was able to tabulate those game features which promoted cognitive, affective, and behavioral learning. And Friedlander and his team emphasized that optimal learning occurred when repetition, planned redundancies, multiple modalities, rewards, active engagement, and visualizations was present in instruction. And this was based on the biological basis of learning and memory formation in humans. So I find that games are wonderful pedagogical tools satisfying these conditions. This study did have some limitations. I was not able to measure the actual behaviors. These are all self-reported responses. And there was no pre-study because the instrument that I used was not designed for it. And longitudinal studies have to be conducted. Although the study was conducted over a 5-week period, it may not be enough. And we need to increase the number of interview participants. So for future research, I would recommend using the PLS-SEM structural model for attitudinal learning specially, and if possible use another survey which will have a pre-post research design, and also compare different kinds of games, and also games which address different components of environmental sustainability education. And I would recommend similar studies in other social scientific topics as well. So in conclusion, I would like to highlight this particular quote where the student said that in real life she will not have a second opportunity as she had in the game. This was very impactful learning from the game, and this is the kind of realization we need to instill in our learners. So in conclusion, I can say that digital games can help young learners understand that the environment is not ours to take or leave, it is ours to make. Thank you.